1899 Season 01 Episode 01 The Ship. Episode Discussion. Season 1 Episode 1 The Ship. Please keep all discussions about this episode or previous ones, and do not discuss later episodes as they might spoil it for those who have yet to see them. That unison tea drinking was sassy. My first thought is time loop, but why would a lead woman not notice? So now I then thought mind control, but what weirdly specific thing? I'm trying not to think of anything time related since I don't think there is supposed to be any time travel in this show per se, but yet still feels timmy-wimmy. The music also makes me feel like they're not really in 1899. Maybe they're all part of an MK Ultra experiment. The 60s music is strange. That Jefferson Airplane song suggests this is all taking place inside someone's brain. White Rabbit. One pill makes you larger, and one pill makes you small, and the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. Go ask Alice when she's 10 feet tall, and if you go chasing rabbits, and you know you're going to fall, tell him a hookah smoking caterpillar has given you the call. He called Alice when she was just small, when the men on the chessboard get up and tell you where to go, and you've just had some kind of mushroom, and your mind is moving low. Go ask Alice. I think she'll know when logic and proportion have fallen sloppy dead, and the White Knight is talking backwards, and the Red Queen's off with her head. Remember what the Dormouse said? Feed your head. Feed your head. Yeah, it's the go-to song in every movie whenever drugs or something weird happens between two mental states. This is honestly my dream show already, purely because I have always wanted a more global story. God knows where it goes, but the fact it has so many characters of so many nationalities is a win for me. Yeah, I really love the multicultural aspect of it. Netflix defaulted to the English dubbed version for me, but it's way better in the English original where you can hear all the different languages being spoken on the ship. I came in knowing nothing and my jaw dropped when one of the migrants spoke my language. Danish. You don't hear that every day in international shows, lol. The main Danish boy with the scar I immediately recognized from Borgen. I recognized him from The Rain, lol. The pregnant girl looked familiar too. Edit. It's Sarah from The Rain S2 and S3. Rasmus girl. Did anyone catch the Frenchman's wife? She had the triangle symbol on her earrings and hair clip. Onto episode 2. Triangles all over. Moira's locket had a small triangle and so does the officer's caps. I'm loving this. It's way different than Dark and it's a bit like Agatha Christie novels where everyone is kinda shady. Kerberos. Name of the ship. Three-headed dog. Guarding the entrance and exit of hell. Prometheus. The guy who stole fire from the gods. I'm not sure of every last detail, but Prometheus had an interesting story. In the myth, Prometheus is punished over and over with the same brutal and painful punishment. He is chained to a mountain and every day an eagle comes by and eats his liver. Every night his liver regrows. This goes on until Hercules kills the eagle. He is known as a sort of founding father of technology, knowledge and human civilization. His name is interesting too. Prometheus means forethought. WTF is the boy doing inside of a cabinet FFS? Anyone think that the boy and the young wet man is the same person? Yes, also what I was thinking. Thanks to Dark. Grimacing face. Also the wet guy wearing the same coat as the captain made me immediately think they're the same person too. Dark PTSD is real. The same guy as every man on the ship somehow. The priest ain't no priest. Didn't the other guy say something like you are supposed to be a priest? Remember? Not that on the nose, but something like that. Tove looks like a female Magnus. She was in another Danish Netflix show called The Rain, and so was the guy who tried to get a doctor for her. But I can already tell their acting is way better in this. Now I can't not see female Magnus though, grinning face with smiling eyes and sweat drop. The score is already on Dark's level, maybe even better. The music is almost glitchy. Also, did anybody notice Lingy's arm during the synchronized drinking scene? It seems to glitch out a bit. I distinctly remember it wasn't like that in the trailer. Almost. It literally cuts out and wobbles whenever it wants. Love it. Yay, some freaky shit happened here. This kinda damage doesn't come from a ship rotting on the ocean, man. I gotta watch another episode. My immediate first thought when they climbed aboard was that it looked like it had been underwater. There are things that look like fabric or maybe seaweed strewn everywhere and hanging from everything. Everything looks muddy and wet and everything is spread out everywhere as if it had been floating in water and then the water had drained away. OHHH during the cinch drinking tea scene, the big drawing in the background top right with the two people in it. It really looks like they are underwater and they have bubbles and stuff coming from around them. We couldn't really connect any meaning to it until now. Your usage of cinch reminds me of the message sent to the captain from the company that said sink ship. I really think it means sink ship. Who knows though? Interesting that the ship is called Kerberos, which I'm assuming is Cerberus, the three-headed dog in Greek mythology. Yeah, and the other one is Prometheus. Clearly a mythological theme. If I was a German passenger ship company, I would simply name my ships things like the Nice Vessel or Safe Journey. Definitely does not sink. Although you know, as soon as you name the ship something like that, the exact opposite will happen. The room numbers are dates or times. Times of death. Times maybe, but they don't make sense as dates. What does make sense after Ep 1? First one was promising. The Jungian scarab is all over the place. The pyramid could be Mora's scarab, since she had a mental image of it when she ran up the stairs and only later received it from the boy. The ribbon EYK picked up seems to tell him something as well. It could be related to his family in the picture. I feel like it is his daughters. He's got a picture of his family on the ship, but no sign or mention of them so far. And when he picks up the ribbon, he hears the faint sound of girlish laughter. Season 1 episode 1. Spoiler. I spotted a second actor from Dark. I kept thinking that Franz, the captain's right-hand man, looked familiar, and before long I realized he was the burglar in Dark that in GT killed Peter Doppler in the trailer and LT. The actor's name is Isaac Dentler. Whoa, great spot. In Dark, we learned German. In 1899, we'll be speaking 5 different languages at the end of episode 8. Lil boy be creepy. I noticed that the English lady in green wore the symbol on her dress. The French lady had it on her earrings and one of the crewmates had it on his hat. Curious as to what it all means. Perfect drinking game. Take a shot whenever you notice the triangle symbol somewhere. Titanic meets One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I have theories, but perhaps this is through the looking glass. Finally, where can I find a beetle like that? Beetles were part of ancient Egyptian mythology gods, and Mrs. Wilson knows way too much about everyone on that ship. I'm still here for this. Might watch one more before work. The book in Mora's room. The brain anatomy illustration doesn't look like it belongs to the 1890s. It looks like it's been printed in the modern times. Just my observation after finishing the episode. The quote that the two Asian ladies recite is also from much later, coined by a Brazilian writer who was born in 1923. Did you mean the phrase that both of them said while looking in the mirror? If so, one half of that was, which literally translates to when the boat reaches the bridge, it will straighten itself out. In other words, everything will be okay in the end. I'm a Cantonese speaker, and what they said in Cantonese was a common phrase. They changed it in the translation, however, which I'm curious about. I wonder if the English quote they used was deliberate, as a hint that something isn't quite right, that the timeline is off, or if it was simply that the translator just made a mistake here. Side note, interesting that in the original tongue, it was an idiom about boats and they're on a ship. And GT, did you mean the phrase that both of them said while looking in the mirror? I think that's the one. It's shortly after one lady starts brushing the hair of the other one. And GT, if so, one half of that was, which literally translates to when the boat reaches the bridge, it will straighten itself out. In other words, everything will be okay in the end. That's super interesting. Conversely, the English, Swedish and German subtitles all say all will be okay in the end, and if it's not okay, it's not the end.